Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and a new paper crafting video. I am making a slimline full panel shaker featuring these balloon animal stamps from the latest release at the Rabbit Hole Designs. You can see these two adorable sets. We have balloon animals number 1 that has a monkey holding a tree, a snail, a dog, a flower, popping by to say hi. How are you? Flying high. This card is your present. Blame inflation. A butterfly, a rabbit, of course, an octopus, and a crab. We have this funny sentiment. Let's get twisted. What's poppin'? And party animal. So I just think these are so adorable. I love that all the images for both sets have coordinating dies and they're already cut. I don't have to separate the dies. That's very awesome. I love that. I can just start stamping and die cutting without any prep work. So now I'm going to make the 3 images I'm using on the outside of my card. I'm going to emboss them with clear ink and emboss them with clear powder on colored cardstock. And that's going to make the image just slightly darker than the cardstock itself. So you can see I stamped it repeatedly using my Misty, and I did pre-prep the paper so that none of my powder is going to stick to where the oils on my fingers might have touched the paper. And that little Cottontail tool is so awesome for that. So now I am doing the snail. You can see I've switched my color of cardstock, but I'm still using the same clear ink and clear powder. So this does go pretty fast, and I think the snail might be my favorite. I don't know, he's so cute. All right, so then we'll heat that. You can see the powder will melt. It's raised up and shiny, and it does stand out from the background. Then for the butterfly, my 3rd image for the front of my card, I am doing purple. And again, I'm using that Cottontail tool, and look, there's no powder anywhere except where I want it to be. I love that. So I've embossed my 3rd image, and then it is time to die cut out all the things. Remember, we have coordinating dies to die cut these out, and they cut pretty close to the image, not leaving a huge space around that. I love that. I don't like it when the space is really big around. Okay, I am putting these onto some coordinating glittered craft foam. I'm going to pop them up, but because it's a textured surface, not only am I using my foam squares, I'm also using liquid glue to make sure they don't come apart later. I hate that. So next I'm going to set those aside and work on my background. This is the Pinwheel 6x6 stencil. I fell in love with it from the July release, and I thought it would be a really fun added thing to my background. So I'm going to do 3 different sections. So I'm bringing in my little panels there to make sure that I'm getting the matching color around all 4 sides of each of my squares. So I have Salvage Patina, Kitsch Flamingo, and Wilted Violet are the 3 colors I'm going to use. They are going to overlap and kind of blend together, you know, where the seams of them are, and then I'll have a little bit of that color, a little bit of visual interest in my background that you'll see when the shaker bits are like have fallen to the bottom of the card. You'll still have something cool to see. I'm also using the extra ink on my brush there to add a little bit of color to the edge, not leaving it all just white. And I like that because then I'm using up some of the ink off my brush. All right, so there we are doing the Wilted Violet on the very end, and you can see this creates a really fun panel. I actually thought of like, should I just leave it like this and not turn this into a shaker? But I already had the idea and I wanted to go for it. So I have this acetate piece here. I'm putting a little pixie dust from Ink on 3 and a titch of water, and I'm picking that up with my paintbrush and splattering it across this panel, so I've got a bit of shimmer there too. Isn't it cool? I love it. Okay, I did kind of a lot because a lot of this will be covered up. While that's drying, I was debating whether or not I wanted to add a little shadow and highlights to my stamped images, and I decided to go for it. So I'm using BG23 for my snail, and you can see just adding some shadows in and bringing this a little bit more to life. And to soften out the edges of my coloring, I'm bringing in my colorless blender and just kind of going over that in a circular motion to soften it out. And then I'm going to repeat that with the other two images and some coordinating markers that are just slightly darker than my colored cardstock. And then we'll do the highlights. For the highlights, I have a number 10 white Jelly Roll pen, and I think adding the shadow and the highlight really helps bring these to life, and it's a really easy way to do these balloons when you do them on colored cardstock. You could also do white embossing. That would look really fun with these too. And when I do the inside of my card today, I am going to show you some Copic coloring on a balloon, so you can see that too. Okay, this is a Slimline full panel edge-to-edge shaker pouch. When I use a shaker pouch, I like to pre-fold all of those pieces, and then I will add my adhesive to the back of my panel. I also like to treat my little window sheet here with the Cottontail tool, so it helps the shaker bits not stick to that window sheet there. All right, so on the back of my background panel, I am adding 1/4 of an inch rip and stick tape, and that's what I'm going to adhere my shaker panel to. So I'll take the adhesive backing off on 3 sides, and that's going to allow me to close those flaps over, and they're really easy to fold over because I already pre-folded them. And then once I have them in place, I will bring in a crease tool and really press down on them so they don't come apart later. And I like to just be nice and slow when I do this so I don't have any warping or bubbling, and make sure that my panel is straight and all of those things. So here you can see I've got my crease tool there, and I'm really pressing that down. The fourth side, is left open for my shaker bits. Now this is a big shaker, so I decided to go with some colors that coordinate with the background of my card. A dark purple, a light purple, a darker pink, a lighter pink, that kind of teal color, but I only had one teal color, so I also decided to put in some clear. And all of these shaker bits and the shaker pouch are from Trinity Stamps, and they have these embellishments in all the colors, so you can do lots of fun things with these confetti pieces. So then my clear one is quite clear, but it has a little bit of like that iridescent shine that's like the splatter I put in my background. So now that I have filled up my shaker, I'm going to close down that 4th side. So just remove the backing on the rip and stick tape, press that down, and then use my crease tool to really press that into the adhesive so that it's going to stay there. And look at that. Isn't that so awesome? I love it. Okay, for my little balloon panels, I am needing to stick these down onto plastic, really. So I brought in some rip and stick sheets and cut them so they were just smaller than my panels here, which by the way are 2.5 inches squared. So my sticky piece is just a little bit smaller than that. I'm also using liquid glue, so if I need to move things around, I actually can, which I do actually move it. That purple one you can see is a tiny bit high. I ended up picking that up and scooting it down, and I was able to do that because I put glue on the back also. So there's my 4 pieces, and then we're going to put this panel onto a card base. Now this is an 8.5 by 3.5 inch panel, which is normally the standard size for a slimline card. I like to make mine a tiny bit bigger on some occasions, and that is 8 3/4 by 7.5, and then I score it at 3 3/4, and then I have just a little bit of an edge around my full panel shaker, and I like that. And then this will still fit in a business size envelope, so I like to do that on occasion. Okay, for my sentiment, I'm using sentiments from the stamp sets. This is from Balloon Animals number 1, Popping By to Say Hi. I'm embossing that with white powder on some cardstock that's just a little bit darker than the cardstock I stamped my snail on. And then we'll heat set that. When I'm doing embossing with these really thin kind of letters, I like to stamp really lightly but multiple times. So I'm not pressing down too hard because it can actually make the line of that image a little bit thicker. And then I put the powder on, make sure I tap plenty of it off so there's not like larger pieces there that can make the letters look a little fatter. Now when I'm sticking these down to my card, part of it is going to overlap that glittered craft foam, and part of it's going to stick to the window sheet. So I did have a little bit of adhesive in liquid glue form and foam squares. All right, let's move on to the inside of the card. I'm going to stamp out this dog. It's so cute, and we're going to do coloring on this one. So I have my Copic markers and I'm starting out with my lightest color and I'm saturating the whole area. Then I'll bring in my darkest color, which in this case is V06, and I'm going to go all the way around the edge, and then I'll do my mid-tone color V04 and just kind of start to make that darker area a little bit bigger while still leaving a highlight in the center. And so this piece of the balloon is going to have the highlight in the center. The one behind it, I did the highlight on the left. And you can see that's how I did all of these pieces. I colored each section of the balloon by itself, one at a time, and that's what worked best for me, leaving most of them with a center highlight. Some of them, like the back of the dog, has a highlight at the top, but it was just really fun and easy to color, just using 3 markers and having quite a bit of light space with a little bit of dark highlighting around the edge. So there he is, so cute. I am going to highlight this also with a white gel pen, plus the white gel pen is really great for picking up any or covering up any marker that might have got outside the lines. So I'm using the number 10 again on this one, and then just adding some lines to those highlighted areas, and it looks so awesome. I think the stamp set is, both of these are so cute. I really want to do that monkey holding onto the tree. So cute. All right, I die cut this out. He's ready to go on the inside of this card, and because the inside is white and it has a white edge, it, you know, almost looks like it was stamped there. And then I'll add a 3rd sentiment to the inside that says, "What's poppin'?" So cute. Okay, so there is my balloon animal full panel slimline shaker card. I think the stamp set is so cute and pretty versatile with all the different ways you could stamp out these balloons and the different kind of cards you could make with it. So this is part of a hop. Go over to my blog, carrystamps.com, to check out the other stops on this blog hop, enter to win the giveaway, and be inspired. If you're interested in the supplies I use, you can find them linked for you in the description box below. I have plenty of card making videos for you on my YouTube channel, so feel free to subscribe. And I'll be back again very soon with another video just for you. Thanks for watching and happy stamping. Bye.